Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on the 2002 film Resident Evil. Now, as you know, Resident Evil had a 2002 action horror film that was written and directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who also gave us the film Mortal Kombat. And this film also had his wife, Mila Jovovich, being the center of the film. Now, I know originally there was a different script for this film that got changed, and originally was also meant to be planned to be a prequel in the same continuity, but eventually would be established as a alternative continuity. I think the thing is, you can do a Resident Evil film, just have the first film be based on the first game, and then, do the sequel on the second game. Make it show the aftermaths. So the premise of the film is meant to follow a different version to the first film, and keep in mind, the point of the film is meant to follow elements of the first and second Resident Evil games, which has a underground facility underneath Raccoon City. We kind of see how, the facility called as the Hive end up going on a full-scale shutdown after a thief steals some genetically engineered T-virus that has the place shut down. We see how a young woman known as Alice wakes up in a sort of mansion with no memories. We kind of see how, a team of soldiers go in, get out to clear up the mess. And over the film, we see how Alice, as well as Rain, Matthew, as well as other characters, later have to deal with zombies, have to deal with dangerous traps and that set up by the sort of Red Queen. And I think Alice isn't a bad character, but I just think is thrown in to be the combat girl for the sake of it. I think the problem is, it's kind of clear that her character is thrown in to be the sort of movie female hero character, which isn't a bad thing, but I think to me, if you were to kind of make it like a sort of main focus, then use Jill Valentine. She actually works, and if you had her with her partner Chris Redfield, this would add a bit more. Like both of them having to kind of deal with trying to keep their team alive, having to deal with whatever's inside the mansion. But the problem is, the Red Queen doesn't feel like a believable threat. She seems more like that typical evil computer for the sake of it. But I kind of give the film credit that it is still trying to stay truthful to some elements, like obviously the T-virus, the other variations of different zombies underneath the mansion, and kind of having some characters still try to be what the original continuity was. And obviously, there was meant to have its own version of Albert Wesker, who's just thrown in for just one film. I think to me what made Albert Wesker work was that, his character literally was a counterpart to Chris Redfield. We kind of saw how, Albert Wesker was willing to cross lines. We kind of saw how, he was kind of meant to be a bit more of a cunning villain. And we kind of saw how both him and even Chris Redfield had been in different games, had been in different actions, and we would always kind of see them duking it out, knowing both of them will come face to face one and another. I think what's also interesting is, this film was also responsible for having number of sequels, which was Apocalypse in 2004, Extinction in 2007, Afterlife in 2010, Retribution in 2012, and the final one, The Final Chapter, It was clear that, yeah, they still wanted to keep on with this continuity and probably saw some potential in doing their own take. But to me, there are ways you can do a good Resident Evil film. Have the first film based on the first film. Have it with the teen stars going into the mansion and learning to their shock and horror what happened in there. You can use Spencer Mansion, just be careful how you can do it. And have the second one take place in Raccoon City, seeing how people try to survive and stay alive. But I think while the film isn't perfect, it still tries to be a little like the first game, but with slightly altered moments. Well, it's a little boring, not great, and just has really boring and dumb characters. But I think this film definitely deserves thumbs in the middle. Well, it's not perfect, it still tries to get the job done. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.